Martin Luther King Jr., Walt Disney, Michael Jordan, Steve Jobs, Malala Yousafzai, Greta Thunberg, Serena Williams. What do all of these people have in common? They held their vision and they kept taking these failures on the chin until they made it to where they wanted to be. They chose to keep getting back up whenever they got knocked off the horse. Martin Luther King Jr., who was widely disliked by the American public and had all the odds stacked against him, yet still managed to win civil rights for people of color for generations to come. Walt Disney, his first cartoon company went bankrupt. He had a nervous breakdown after creating his famous Mickey Mouse character because he was rejected over 300 times before he finally got a yes from a company. And all of his ventures had rocky starts. Steve Jobs, a Baroque college dropout who started his company in his garage and then went on to become one of the most successful and influential brands and lines of technology in the history of the world. Michael Jordan, who was known as just a goofy kid who liked basketball and who wasn't taken as seriously as the other kids because he wasn't as tall. But as we know, he went on to become an NBA legend and changed the standards of the game forever. Malala Yousafzai, a 15-year-old shot by the Taliban for standing up and receiving an education, something that was strictly forbidden and very taboo. She went on to become the world's youngest Nobel Prize winner in history, and among many other awards, is a well-known human rights activist today. Greta Thunberg, a 15-year-old girl who received death threats, fines, and was even arrested multiple times for her brave work as a climate activist. And she's went on to win Person of the Year in Times Magazine, the alternative Nobel Prize, among many other accomplishments. Serena Williams, who has faced unfair criticism, racism, injuries, and physical fatigue, all to become one of the world's greatest tennis players in history. They were met with challenges, obstacles, and opposition, but they kept pushing towards their dreams anyways. When you have big ambitions, you care greatly about what you are creating. You want it to be not just good, but life-changing. You might want to win awards, become an industry leader, or get to the top of the ladder as quickly as possible. But the thing is, you don't get to control what the journey looks like. You only get to control how you respond to it. Besides calling it quits, you don't get to control how long it takes you to get to your end goal, which will probably change along the way anyways. You don't get to choose the inevitable setbacks that you are absolutely 100% going to face. It's just part of the process. And you don't get to choose what package your victory comes in. You don't know what it's going to look like, and you don't know what form it's going to take. The strength that we admire in those success stories is the strength that they find to keep going, even whenever it looks hopeless. And often, that is the very same strength that we fail to see in ourselves. We admire these people because they walked through the fire. They were challenged, they were tested, and they made it to the other side. And that's something that a lot of us have failed to do in our own lives in one way or another. Or it might be something that you're scared to do to begin with. I want to say that it's easy. It's easy to fall prey to the idea that these successful figures we look to for inspiration were somehow better than us or more qualified to accomplish these incredible feats. But they didn't achieve these things by accident. They held their vision and they kept taking these failures on the chin until they made it to where they wanted to be. I did martial arts for like a year and a half. I did jiu-jitsu and Dutch kickboxing. And my coach was a widely renowned coach. He had a lot of his own special techniques. He had trained with some big fighters in the world. He was a well-respected man in his profession. He would always say that there is no failure until you quit. And I remember one time I asked him how he managed to get these techniques down so well, which he'd been doing it for like 30-something years. So that's part of the question. That's part of the answer. And he told me that he just refuses to give up, that he actually fails quite a bit, but he fails and fails and fails over and over and over until he finally gets it right. But these success stories, the ones that we talked about at the beginning, for example, Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, Malala, Greta Thunberg, Serena Williams, Walt Disney, people like this, we focus on their fame and acclaim, but we rarely think about the strength and the grit that it took to get there. We see the success story, but what we don't see are the sleepless nights that person stayed up worrying, or all of the times that person almost just resigned and gave up altogether. or all of the self-doubt and criticism that that person had to face along the way. But these are all normal parts of the process. Confidence is a skill that you build, a muscle that you strengthen, and it's not something that you just inherently do or do not have. This means that those success stories were only successes because they chose to keep getting back up whenever they got knocked off the horse, not because they were just special. They tried new things, they held their vision of what they were creating, and time again, they kept pulling themselves back to their dreams whenever they were thrown off the horse. And if they can do it, so can you. You are just as powerful and capable as those inspirational leaders. And in fact, it's time we made some more of them. So remember that the only person you need to believe in you to achieve your goals is you. No matter what roadblocks may come up, no matter what criticism you may face, so long as you keep getting up after you're thrown off the horse, you will absolutely make it. So comment below because I want to know, what way are you getting thrown off the horse in your life? And how are you going to show up for yourself so you get there? Also, who's a good inspirational figure that you look to? Because I love inspirational people and I always want to have more of them in my little think tank whenever I need them. So comment that below because I want to hear from you guys. But thank you guys so much for being here today. I really hope that you gained something valuable from this. And make sure and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. We're getting our momentum back again. Life was lifing. But a like, a share, a comment, a follow, these are all things that greatly help my channel and greatly help this video to grow and to reach other people like you. But thank you so much for being here. I will see you around with my next one. Bye.